All right, so let's get started. First of all, I want to thank you guys all for being on. I know that it's a lot out of your night, and it's time away from your family, and it's time you could be in bed or whatever. So I just want to tell you guys I appreciate you guys being here, and thank you guys for the feedback today. I was really having difficulty coming up with a topic, and I want to make sure that it's worth your while if you're going to be on here and make the effort to get on here and listen. So I took what a bunch of you said, and hopefully I have a good call for you guys, and hopefully it won't take too long and we can open it up to questions. First of all, for those of you who don't know me, I know there's some new faces on here, which is always exciting. My name is Katie Auerhahn, and I am the founder of Team Alive. We're part of the bigger Team Phoenix. We're so blessed that we have a big, huge team full of amazing people and resources and all kinds of good stuff. So before we get started, just a couple little updates. Right now the new coach training is going on, so it's not too late to join if you haven't. So if you want to be in it, make sure that you reach out to me or to your upline. The second thing I want to mention is we have a 3-day sneak peek into challenge groups going on right now, and I was hoping to have a few more people in there. I have to tell you guys that this can make all the difference in the world. First of all, it's something extra for you to invite your contacts to. You know, if you're feeling like you're in a rut or whatever, this is like a no pressure group. You know, I can reach out to a bunch of people and just say, you know, would you like to be added to this 3-day sneak peek into challenge groups? It's going to give you a window into what we do in the groups, blah, 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 whatever. I will say that I'm going to stop running them if we don't have if people don't add people to them and people aren't sort of helping me out in the group. I'm not threatening anything. I just don't know if it's worth my time if we don't have a ton of people. I'm not going to say that I have an easy time every month hitting Success Club, but it's something that I do every month, and this group is for people who have trouble hitting Success Club. So if you're someone who has trouble hitting Success Club, put it on your radar and see if you can get people into that group. That's what it's there for. I got the idea from Andrea Crowder, which is she's a huge successful coach. She's the founder of Misfit Republic. She's got some really awesome YouTube trainings out there, and she's got a real what's it called, her brand is very defined, and so I know Megan Page and her team, they're big fans of hers and her trainings, and that's where I got the idea from. They've had really big success with it. But so you know, if you're having trouble hitting Success Club, put that on your radar. I'm happy to run it for everybody, but I won't continue doing it if it's not filling up, kind of thing. I find that most of my work is done behind the scenes, but if you are having trouble hitting Success Club, of course, that's what this is there for. So I want it to be there for you, and I plan to do it monthly as long as the team is utilizing it. Okay. The next thing I want to mention is a Push to Emerald group. We haven't done one in a while, and I feel like maybe our team could use it. So if you or anyone on your team might be interested, reach out and let me know. And I'll try to get one on the schedule for maybe at the beginning of October. I talk about it in the at the end of our new coach training. So if it is something that you or you have people who are interested in doing, especially people who are in Dollars to Diamonds, Push to Diamond group, there's a bunch of us in there. You have to move to Emeralds, whether you're already have an emerald or not. You have to pop 2 emeralds, whether it's your husband or your mom or whoever. So you know, let me know if it's something that you would want to do, and I'll get that on the schedule for us. All right, I think that's it. I hope everyone's doing really great with the health fat. I know I'm trying to remember to get in there and post my pictures every day before I drink up my shake, but I think it's really fun, and I love seeing everybody's pictures. Yeah, Janelle, I think it's time for another Push to Emerald group too. I think I'm going to shoot for beginning of October, but again, I want you guys to kind of let me know who's interested and who's not, to make sure it's worth my time into putting into it. Okay, so tonight's call is going to be a mishmash, is that a word? A whole bunch of different things. I want to talk a little bit about social media, and people mentioned breadcrumbing, which is something that doing breadcrumb posts, which is something that we talked a lot about in the Dollars to Diamond group. But anyone can do it, whether you're a brand new coach or you're a seasoned coach, whatever, it doesn't matter. So we're going to talk a lot about breadcrumbing. We're going to talk about mindset, which is also a good one. And we're going to talk about private messaging and the follow-up. Someone mentioned the follow-up. I'll try to read what's in the chat box. And actually, Janelle, I'm going to touch on that, having nobody replied. I'm going to touch on that within this group, so I'm glad you put that out there. So the first thing I want to start talking about is brand. What is your brand and building your brand? I recently went to a Brad Paisley concert with my husband. And has anyone ever been to a Brad Paisley concert? Yeah, a couple of people. His brand, and it was something I probably would never thought of if I wasn't in this business right now. His brand is so clearly defined. One sec, I'm just going to, there you go. His brand is so clearly defined in his videos, like they do behind the scenes. It's so clear. He's like the all-American country boy, but he's not super cowboy and like hodunk. He's more like football Sundays. He's got the hat on, the jeans. His brand is very clearly defined in every song and everything that he does. He's all about like the old-fashioned love story and all that stuff. And as I was sitting there, I was thinking about how we need to really clearly define what our brand is. And it's always a work in progress. I can tell you, I know what my brand is, but I'm always working on it, and it's never perfect, never ever. So as I'm speaking to you, don't think that I have this all down pat. I don't. But, I think it's something we can always work on. I also want you to think about, is your brand within your brand? You may have a brand clearly defined, but are you being vulnerable enough? Or are you just posting like surface stuff about your brand? Are you really letting people into you and into your life, into your struggles, into your successes? Or are you just posting stuff that's sort of on the surface? I'm asking you guys to go back and look at your post and figure that out. See if you need to work on that. 1 second. I love that people are getting on here. Just make sure it's muted. Okay, did I do it? Let me see. Okay, we should be good there now. So, really I want you guys to dig deep and see if you're posting about just surface stuff and just sort of like motivational quotes here and there, or are you really digging deep and letting people into like a window into your soul and what you're feeling and what you're struggling? All right, so let's go into breadcrumbing and breadcrumbing related to your brand. You can breadcrumb about coaching, you can breadcrumb about your workouts, you can breadcrumb about Shakeology. So what exactly do I mean by breadcrumbing? Okay, so when you share something in your post, you're not giving the whole loaf of bread away in every single post. First of all, people don't want to read a book every single time. I'm not saying you can never make a long post. You can, but it's not something that you want to post every single time you want to post, a book. Second, you want to kind of leave them wanting more. You kind of like, you're leaving for a mouse. Like you're leaving a little breadcrumb, so they're following a trail and they're coming back. Think about if there's somebody that you follow, that you go to their page actively and check their Facebook page or whatever. I mean, I have a couple on my mind. I only follow a couple Beachbody coaches at this point in my, you can really get caught up in it, but there are a few that I want to know what they're doing, what they're going to post next. They put whatever, they find them interesting. So, think about that when you're doing your posts. For example, a breadcrumb about coaching. Let me think about something that I've done before, possibly. I remember learning this at Summit last year. So giving the whole loaf of bread away would be telling your whole story about why you got into coaching and how it's helped you. And hey, do you want to join me? Like a call to action, a full thing. That would be giving the whole loaf of bread away. Doing a breadcrumb post might be something like, I got to go with my son to his preschool field trip and talking about how that's really been something that has helped my family, kind of thing. It's not like a long thing, but it's sort of giving them a breadcrumb about my life. You know, I remember, I'm thinking of a post I did on this about maybe a year ago or something. And I talked about how, you know, I was a stay-at-home mom, and, you know, we really, really sacrificed to make that happen. But this, because of this extra income, it's given us a chance to have some of those luxuries that we didn't have before. One thing I posted about was like some expensive shampoo and conditioner. I mean, it was the cheesiest, stupidest post, but it was a breadcrumb about, you know, that I'm making money. Now people can see I'm making money. Now everything doesn't have to be about money, but once in a while doing an income post is okay. So that would be a breadcrumb post. A breadcrumb post about coaching. A breadcrumb post about working out might be something about, you know, I dropped a little something about doing PiYo recently. Just a little something. I wasn't all like, buy PiYo, this is why it's great. It's just showing that you're doing it and what it's for. It's no impact or whatever. Country Key, same kind of thing. You know, maybe talking about how the fun music or whatever. You know, I'm just thinking of stuff off the top of my head, but that would be a breadcrumb post about working out. Same with Shakeology. You know, one more thing I'm going to tell you is that you don't want to become white noise to people. If you're every day posting about your, you know, every workout, or, you know, if you're posting a picture of you with your Shakeology every single day, I'm wondering if that offering value to people, or are you going to become white noise to people and they're just, oh, she's just posting a picture of her Shakeology with her next to her face or whatever. You know, think about that when you're posting. You know, you don't want to become white noise to people. There are people in my news feed who are white noise to me. I don't even read what they have to say, because they're posting about the same thing. And that leads me into, you know, you don't want to be posting about Beachbody and your brand all the time. You know, you want to squeeze some other things in, and your brand doesn't necessarily have to do with Beachbody and working out. It can have to do with other things. Some of my best posts are things about my kids, where I get the most traction, or something about my husband, or something, whatever. I tend to do a little comic relief on my page, or joking around, or whatever. And those are the ones who get the most traction, the most comments, the most likes. That's what you want, that interaction on your page. So that's sort of breadcrumb. Let me check. I know there's stuff going on in the chat, so I want to just make sure that I you don't know how to shorten. You know, Becky, I think you feel like you're wordy. I think that comes with practice and just a little bit of thought. I don't find you to be insanely wordy. I haven't noticed that you have been, to be honest with you. Actually, Jenny, I'm glad you mentioned this. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, so if I still have to work full time and don't make a lot of income yet, how do I breadcrumb? Is it all more personal impact for me right now? It's a good question. One of the things I have people do in the very first step of Push to Emerald group is make a list of what Beachbody's done for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be income. You know, I kind of give this as an example. Before I was making a lot of money, coaches still wanted to join me. So it wasn't all about money. And same with a lot of people. You know, I had to do a bunch of things. But I guess my point is, it doesn't have to all be about money. Is that going to reach some people? Sure. And even if you're making, it's a mindset. I posted about this before, and I've said it over and over again. When I was making $50 a week, that was $50 I did not have before. And I think that was what my mindset was. And that was cool to me. So I felt like I could post a little bit about money. Not everybody feels like that. I know some people feel like, oh, I'm just not making a lot. But can you change your mindset and feel like, oh, I made, you know, an extra $100 this week? Like, where is that going? It's $100 you didn't have. And hopefully you enjoy this enough that that's sort of like extra money. That's sort of how I've always looked at it. So as my income increased, I don't post about my income very much. I tend to do it when I'm in like a push mode. Like if I'm in like I was pushing the diamond in my second CVC or something. You know, I guess what I'm saying is you're not necessarily going to draw the people you want by posting about income. So think about what else Beachbody has done for you. Has it given you confidence? Has it given you friends? Has it given you, I mean, I remember posting about my husband travels for work. He's been gone for almost 2 weeks. Yeah, it'll be on his second week now, and I'm going crazy. And I remember last year doing a post about that and writing how, I used to get so lonely when he left. But now I'm talking to you guys, you people, all day long, and I don't get lonely anymore. It doesn't bother me to be, at night I miss him or whatever. But that was one of my breadcrumb posts talking about what it's done for me. Now, are you immediately going to get 10 people wanting to sign up to be coaches? Absolutely not. That's not how it works. A breadcrumb leads people to it. I can look at the faces who are like my PS coaches here, and there was a couple who signed up after Nashville last year. Those were breadcrumb posts sharing those special events and whatnot. I can tell you that I know what my personality is and what drives me, and I tend to follow like the fun. I'm sort of like, I like that stuff, and a lot of my people are too. They want to be involved in that. They want to be a part of it. They want to do those fun things. So I guess what I'm saying is it doesn't all have to be about income. If you can slip in there a little bit about, and maybe in one breadcrumb post about what the income has done for you, then maybe you could. And it can be something little, You don't have to give the dollar amount. You don't have to say I made exactly this much this week or whatever. I don't know if that helps at all. Let me check the chat here. All right, I'm going to keep going. Okay, another one is I talked about mindset, about your income and about what coaching's done for you. Staying positive. You have to stay positive. You have to stay positive, even if you feel like you're plateaued. You have to stay positive. And along with that, are you making progress in your workouts and in your own health and fitness? I'm not perfect. Don't think that I am at all. But it helps when you're on track and when you are reaching your goals and whatever it is that your goals are. Are you proving that these products work? If you feel like you're in a plateau, it's like a slow, kind of like frozen, then maybe you need to do a 21-day fix or a 3-day refresh and prove to people that this works, whatever it is. I mean, those are two really easy ones to do from beginning to end. And I think just about everybody can stand to do one of those, whether you want to, pop your 6-pack or if you want to lose 10 pounds, whatever it is. I think that if you feel like you're in a rut, then do a program from beginning to end. Make yourself and tell yourself this is for your business, proving that stuff works. What else? All right, who do you want to follow you? This is another one that has to do with the breadcrumbing. Have you sat down and painted a picture of who will be following you? Really, like exact details, okay? What do they wear? Where do they shop? What kind of family do they have? How do they feel? What are their struggles with food? Are they overeaters? Are they undereaters? Do they love sweets? Do they love salty food? Do they love eating out? How do they feel about working out? Do they hate it? Do they hate to sweat? Do they hate dancing? Do they hate lifting weights? Do they love it, but they can't stop eating? What is it? Do they love to drink? Do they love to party? How do they feel about themselves? What body parts they like or not like? And this is where, once you can define it, you can make your post directed at that person every single time. And a lot of times it's a reflection of you. And this is where your posts get vulnerable. This is where you're going to share if you have struggles overeating, or if you have some successes and you overcame them, or whatever it is. One of my most vulnerable posts was when I posted a picture of my extra skin flap that I have from my kids, and I was on all fours, and it was the most hideous picture, and I had tons and tons of responses from that. And that's part of my brand, and that's part of who I'm talking to. Okay, those two different things. Now, does that mean you cannot have anybody who's different that you help? No. I mean, I've got lots of middle-aged women or women who are in their 20s who don't have any kids, but you're talking to somebody specific. If you're not talking to somebody specific, you're not going to reach anybody. So sit down and write it out. Figure out who you are talking about and talk to that person. And get deep. Get vulnerable. I think this is the biggest thing. If you're trying to reach people on social media, you need to dig deep and post deep. Like, you need to get seriously, like I say, cheesy, and that's what I mean. Like, I feel like when I post, I'm so freaking cheesy, and I'm always thinking, like, I used to think, actually, oh my God, my mother-in-law is going to see this, or my father-in-law is going to see this, or whatever. And now I'm like, who cares? I'm talking to somebody, okay? Okay, now, with all that stuff being said, let me see, I missed something in the chat, I know. Who do you want to follow? Exactly. I've always said this in the past before, I said this on previous calls. Sorry, I'm reading the chat as I talk. I said this on previous calls. Why would someone who doesn't know you follow you? Are you engaging enough? Are your pictures, like, are they nice to look at? People want to look at pictures. Are they fun pictures to look at? You know, do they look nice? Are they clear? Are they blurry? That's the stuff I kind of see. What's in your background? It's something you have to think about because your Facebook page is a business now. And I'm not saying they have to be perfect and you have to have a graphic designer create them, but how do they look? Okay, with that all being said, social media is super important, but the private message is even more important. If you're not doing the private messaging, I can't help you. I talked about this in the live video I did in Team Phoenix a couple weeks ago. If you think that as you get bigger and bigger as a coach, people are going to come running to you wanting to buy challenge packs, you are wrong. It's never going to happen. You have to get out there in private message. You have to do it on a regular basis. Janelle, I'm not calling you out, but you said something at the beginning about how you didn't hear if no one replied. And I'm not saying that you know, I'm not calling you out on this, but my guess is going to be the relationship building was not there. You could send out 100 messages to people inviting them to a challenge group and to a 5-day group. If you're not hearing back from anybody, my guess is you don't have the relationship there to be inviting them. That's going to be my guess. Now, that's maybe not true for every single thing, but it has to come back to that relationship. And everyone's at different levels of relationships. There are some people who come right to me, they want, you know, and we're talking and they're like, yeah, send me the link, I want to buy. And I'm like, this feels weird, I didn't talk to them enough. And there's other people where it takes a year to get them to that point where they want to buy a challenge pack, because you're just constantly building that relationship. I very rarely will send out, I'm always surprised when people tell me, I'm going to be honest, I'm always surprised when people tell me, I sent out 50 messages today, or I sent out 100 messages, or 35, or whatever. I never, ever, ever do that. I'm always surprised when people say that, because I'm always building relationships and getting people to that point. And if I don't sit down and say, okay, now it's time to send out, you know, now it's time to fill my challenge group. It doesn't happen. Every day I'm building the relationships, and today I might have 3 people who I'm ready to invite, who we're at that point where it's time to invite. It doesn't happen all in one day. And if you're doing that and you're not getting responses, my guess is going to be the relationship just isn't there, that they're ready to answer you back and join a group, or even join a 3-day sneak peek group. I send out a couple messages, people who want to join my 3-day sneak people, 3-day sneak peek in the challenge group. I send them out to a select few who I think could benefit from it. They all said yes. I'm not perfect. I messed up on my power hour and whatever, but I think I've got the system figured out, and I hope I can teach it to you guys. Those are people who are, I feel, are ready to join a challenge group, and I think they could benefit from the 3-day sneak peek group. So I'm not mass inviting. It's sort of like I have a list of people that I'm talking to every single month. They're all in different places, though. They're not all going to benefit from this 3-day sneak peek in the challenge group. Some people already bought challenge packs this month. They're set, they're ready to go. They might join because they want to know what's going on, but they're already good to go. Some people just, you know, already bought, you know, a program or whatever. Some people I'm just starting to build that relationship with. They joined my hydration group, and they, you know, I'm just starting to get to know them. They're not people I'm inviting to my 3-day sneak peek in the challenge group. But I have been doing my power hour and building relationships with people for the past 3 years. So I have people in my funnel, in my bucket. Remember I talked about the bucket? Filling your bucket, and every month maybe a couple people will jump out like fish. Well, I have people from the past 3 years that I feel are ready for me to invite, or else they've said, talk to me again in September, or else they've said no in August, but I'm following up with them, seeing if they want to join now. Okay, so if you're having success sending out those mass invites, and here's what I mean by success. If you're sending out, let's say you're sending out 50 to 100 invites for challenge groups, for the 3-day sneak peek into coaching, if you're not selling maybe 10 challenge packs to 20 challenge packs, I think you're doing something wrong. Okay, I think it's a waste of your time, and I think something's not happening. If you're sending out 50 invites and you're hitting success to 5, and you're doing okay, but I think that those relationships are not there, and if you build 50 relationships with those people, I think you're going to up your challenge packs to people to like 10 to 20. It's all about the relationship. With that being said, I'm going to ask you this. Are you listening to people, or are you doing all the talking? I think this is where we often go wrong. Somebody messages us and they want to know what's going to happen in the 21-day fix or 21-day group. I'm doing the Operation Skinny Jeans group. They want to know what is it. I'm immediately, you're inclined to word bomb it and tell them everything that's going to happen in that group. Instead, ask them what what attracted to them. What do they want to get out of it? What are they struggling with? What are their goals? And see if it's going to be a good fit. Some people might benefit from the 3-day refresh instead. Some people might come to me and I'm not immediately like, oh, I got to sell them a challenge pack. Get to know them, and maybe they do better starting in one of your shorter groups, one of your 5-day groups. I guess my point is, if you're doing all the talking, it's time to start listening. People want to do all the talking. We all want to do all the talking, right? Let them do the talking. Get to know them. They're not us, they're different, and we need to know what they like when they want. Just because Country Heat's on sale or whatever doesn't mean it's the best program for them. Find out what's the best program for them. Okay, what else? I think I talked about everything else. Posting about other than Beachbody, offering some value, some motivation. Okay, someone asked about the follow-up. Here's what I do with my follow-up. I usually follow up with someone for about 3 times before I give up completely. I usually give up for the month. They're done for now. And at the last one, I'll say something like, it's really fine if now's not the right time for you. Would you mind if I checked back in next month and invited you to another group, or kept you in mind for my next free 5-day. Most of my people come from my free groups. So if I'm inviting somebody from a free group to a paid group and they're not answering me, my guess is that they don't want to say no to my face. So I just tell them, is it okay if I keep you in mind for the next 5-day community group in October? Do I always get responses? No. Don't think that you're the only one that hears crickets. If you hear crickets, put them on the list. It is what it is. And that's where that funnel and that bucket comes in. You shouldn't, it's sort of like, how should I say this? If someone said they're interested, but now they're not answering you, don't dwell on it. Like, it's not something to dwell on. You move on, because you have enough people coming through your funnel. If you don't have enough people coming through your funnel, time to get out there and do more. Time to build your contact list. I've got a call on it that I did a while back, but get into some groups on Facebook. Actively make new contacts. Find a free group where you can have people add people in. At this point, that's where a lot of mine come from. Anita Myron talked about, it was a requirement. People had to invite 3 other people. I love it. I can't wait to do it. My hydration group in September was just I can't wait to try that for my September or my October group. So, really build your contact list so that you're not like dwelling on one person. Why won't that person answer me? They've got to buy a challenge pack. Or if someone says no, you're not trying to talk them into it. They said no, and you move on. You're not stuck on 2 or 3 people who you thought you were going to buy. Trust me, I've been there. It's not fun. Keep adding people to your funnel. Ending with a question also helps. And keep on inviting them to challenge groups and events, and liking and commenting on their posts so that you stay relevant in their news feeds. Let me see if I'm answering questions. Oh, Angela, you have 2 years and 1 month. I love it. Let's see. All right, let me open it up to questions because I'm sorry, I didn't think I talked so long. We have about 8 minutes left, so who has some questions for me? That's awesome, Ashley, what you just said. One person and 10 to 12 people, that's so great. Who has a question? You'll always be trying to figure this out. Becky, it's such a constant work in progress. Such a constant work in progress. Anyone else have any comments? Nothing? Come on, someone's got to have something.
I have a comment, Katie.
Sure. Hi, Danielle.
Hi. I think it was Melanie Nitro or Anita Miran on the Team Phoenix call. She suggested the adding 3 people when you join her group instead of pictures, and that really worked for me. I only had 1 person out of the 3 people join my current 5-day group, but that was 1 person I didn't know, and she's loving the group. And she's going to do the 21-day challenge that's coming up on the 26th with me already. So that was a really fun idea, and it just kind of, it was great. Everybody was like, yeah, I'll add 3 people, no problem. Like, no one cared. It was awesome. So that really worked.
That's so great. Love it. I mean, she seems like she's had, I mean, obviously she's had really great success doing it, and she said she never really had any negative reaction to it. So why not just go for it? Thank you for sharing. Okay, Lisa, I will talk about that in the new coach training. So you are brand new, so I'm sorry a lot of this is probably over your head. But I will talk about all that stuff. So don't worry about it yet. You will learn. And you know, I appreciate you being on the call though. It's awesome, and hopefully we can keep this stuff and come back to it in a month. All right, Amy, do you add those that like comment on your post to your contact list? Oh, sure. Absolutely, Amy. Especially if it's like a health and fitness post. Absolutely. I would. I do. Pretty much everyone on your friends list is kind of a contact at this point, unless they already have like a mutual friend of someone who knows a coach or whatever, like something like that. I would consider just about everyone on your friends list to be a contact. There's different levels of contacts too. You know, I have like quality contacts, which are people who come from my free groups and who have started talking to me. Then I have like another tier of contacts, people who join my free groups and I don't hear back from them. I end up removing them. I still consider them some sort of a contact. And then you have people who sort of like your post here and there. They might comment once in a while. I can think of certain people in my mind, or whatever. I can think of one girl in particular whose daughter goes to the same dance school as mine. And I don't know if she's ever going to join a group of mine. It doesn't matter. What was I going to say? Oh, I know. So we kind of talk back and forth, commenting on each other. I don't know her. She went to high school with my husband. And I probably friend requested her at some point, trying to build my contacts. And we chatted privately about dancing. You know, I found that to be sort of like, you know, I messaged her and then we got to talking and now she comments on my post. I don't know if it'll ever come to something. It doesn't matter. But she's somebody who's kind of like that 3rd tier of contacts. She's someone, we haven't talked about health and fitness necessarily, but she's sort of a Facebook friend now. And we've had some private message, though not about, you know, Beachbody. So, yeah. Hope that answers your question. Wow, so we've still got almost 4 minutes, so. Anyone? Let me check the chat window. Good conversation going on in there. Everyone's gonna go do a breadcrumb post tonight. Let's see. I would invite those people, Lisa, to a free group, and then maybe offer them the sampler pack or whatever. I mean, yeah, that's what I would do. Staying positive is key. You have to stay positive. We all fail. We all mess up. I tell some of my new coaches this who are struggling to hit Success Club. It took me 9 months into the business before I started hitting Success Club, and another 5 before I started hitting it regularly. So August, a couple years ago, was when I started hitting it regularly, and then this past August, it had been 2 years, but I started in October as a coach. It took me a long, long time. Don't get down on yourself. Everyone's going to go out and do some breadcrumbing. All right, well, thanks you guys for being on. If you have any more questions, please post them in the event. And thanks guys for being on. I really appreciate it. I know it's not easy to get on at this time of night and whatever, so I really, really do appreciate it. Team Alive showing up. And let me know at the Emerald group, okay? Keep that in mind because it'll push me to plan it. I'm not a very good planner, so it'll push me to get it on the calendar. All right, guys, have a good night. I'll see you all on Facebook and all your breadcrumbing posts. If you do one, share it in the group and we can all go like it, okay? All right, good night.